What's up, YouTube? It's your friend Miriam, aka Lucky Number 78, and I'm here to review a Funko Pop. And I think this is the first time I've ever done a standalone review of a Funko Pop. This was also inspired by the Review Spot, who I've mentioned a lot recently. He reviews every Funko Pop he gets, and I think that's a great idea. So do Nerd Therapy, which is another very popular YouTube channel which I follow. This is the only one in the series that I've been able to find. This is actually my only Power Ranger Pop. These have been incredibly hard to find. They were all available, and then they weren't. So, I just assumed they would stay available, and they didn't. So I picked this up at GameStop. This is the Yellow Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Flipping this over, also available to someone, but not to me, were blue, black, and green. Yeah, collect the entire line of Funko Pop Power Rangers super stylized vinylized figures. I would love vinyl figures. I would love to, but they are extremely pricey already. Not to mention the ones from 2012, which, good luck. But yeah. Here we have our art of her as a pop, as well as a larger subsection. A smaller subsection made larger. Yeah. I would say or him, because the Yellow Ranger could definitely be a guy, except they very clearly made it the female Yellow Ranger, which is okay. You know, that's a long-standing tradition in Power Rangers toys. Yeah, so for those who don't know, the pro strat to opening a pop, if you want to display it in the box, is to open it from the bottom, and to open it very carefully. Don't blame me if, you know, if your box gets bent. That's not, you know, don't try this at home if you're not super confident. Alright. So she comes in this sort of thing, as most pops do. She does not come with a stand, as most pops do not. As with most pops, the head is rotatable 360 degrees. The sculpt on the head, on the helmet, is really, really good. I mean, I guess that makes sense, since pops are known for the heads, for the oversized heads. But it doesn't show up that well in the box. Like, the ears look very strange in the box. They look too far back. But out of the box, it really looks pretty show accurate. Aside from being obviously deformed and big. The quality of the silver paint that they used for these details, and the nose and the mouth, is actually really high. Yeah, the paint specifically on the head is very good. They actually went with a glossy paint, like a car quality paint, looking paint on the head. That they didn't. They went with a more matte vinyl on the body, which I think is an interesting decision. Now let's talk about the body, because the body is not as satisfying. The paint is just not as good, ever, like anywhere on this figure. These are lopsided. I mean, look at this one. These triangles are just bad. The decal of the saber-toothed tiger is like wedged between her boobs and comes off looking very strange and distorted. And they bothered to paint the Morpher really nicely, but they didn't mold or paint a power coin. And same with the Blade Blaster, or similar with the Blade Blaster, they painted really nicely red and silver, but they didn't mold anything there. Very strange. And then there's white coming up here from the boot. One thing that I will say about this figure, something that I'm going to mention in a coming video that I actually filmed earlier, which is my review of the Legacy figures. Yes, that video is coming. Don't worry, it's filmed, it's done. I just need to edit it and get it to you. One of my pet peeves is, well, actually, one of my favorite things. Let's shift this into a positive. One of my favorite things in all of figures of Power Rangers and Sentai is when they remember the small detail that the bottom of the boots are almost always black. Almost always. Now, they didn't continue it here, which is very strange. They made these yellow. But they actually painted them black, which is really nice. The vast majority of figures just don't do anything about that. 99% of the time, most of the toys I own, this is going to be white. So that's by far my favorite thing about the paint on this figure. But that's my personal thing. It's my pet peeve when they don't do that. I like the pose. I like the, you know, the fists. And I like the action poses that are coming. So, and I think they're going to look good with this. Unfortunately, she does look better out of the box than in it. But I am going to display her in the box because I'm that kind of collector. I'm not the kind of collector who would then go and get a second one to display out of the box, just because Pops are more expensive than they should be. Pops should cost about as much as Mystery Minis do, and Mystery Minis should cost about $2 or $3. But Funko knows what they have. They know they have lightning in a bottle, and they're going to market that as much as they can. So this was $11.99. And I think it should have been about $6 or $7. But am I sorry I bought it? Absolutely not. This is going to be a treasured part of my collection for a while. It's just a little unfortunate how good she looks out of the box as opposed to in it. Another thing is, she would have benefited really, really nicely from a nice dark wash on the helmet. There's a little detail here, and you know, and a nice lip, a snarling lip around the tiger mouth that forms the visor. That would have looked really nice with a dark wash, or even like a Gundam pencil outline. Which, of course, I'm not going to do because I don't trust myself to customize my Pops. And also, it would lower the value significantly. But that is worth pointing out. So, just once more for comparison, I'm going to put her back in the box so we can see, A, what she looks like in the box again, and B, I can show you just how easy it is to make it look like you never took her out. So you put her back in her little protector. And just carefully slide the whole apparatus back in. And it basically looks like it looked on the shelf. I didn't open it from the top, Most people look at the top. It's going to sit on the bottom, so if this puffed out at all, which it did a little bit, not as much as it looked like in that shot because it was, I hadn't completely stuck it back in, but it'll settle back down. Now one thing, and you can see a lot of the nice details on that helmet, especially on the top, which are my favorite part of this figure, get completely lost when she's in the box. So it was really nice and edifying to take her out, but I want to hear what you think. So please let me know. Please, I want to hear back from you. Please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, really, stay beautiful. Peace.